Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson of the Raw Life Health Show. The birds are twerping and I'm here with my baseball cap. Spring training is over, the regular season began, and we're ready to check out the Mets, and hopefully they'll have a better year this year. Alright everybody, today we have a great guest on our show. We have Scott Dyer. He's a good friend and a Bible health teacher, and even more important, he's the only person I know personally with a beard much bigger than mine. Actually, his beard's twice the size. So you got to check him out. He has some good information. So check that out right now. And for you, if you're in the Ohio area, the Cleveland, Ohio area, or the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, I will be there next week. So go on my website, paulneeson.com, and check that out. Here's Scott Dyer. Have a great day. Scott's a teacher of scriptures here, and we're going to ask Scott some questions. Everyone saw my episode about a month ago about beards.
Beards.
And about how healthy they are, and important they are. And look at that there.
Wow.
Look at that. So, Scott, first introduce yourself and your website and everything.
Our website's profoundprophecy.com. That's profoundprophecy with a C.com.
Okay, and what do you do?
We travel all over Abba's creation and lecture about eschatology, end-time prophecy, and the Hebraic roots and origin of our faith.
So, Scott, tell us, look at your beard there. How long have you been growing that beard?
I'm guessing this one, I've trimmed it a couple times, but it's been at work for about 2.5, 3 years.
And why do you think beards are healthy, or why do you have a beard?
I was compelled by our Father to let it hang, and for the purpose of opening up dialogue, and it's quite the topic of discussion. I think it's natural. It feels right. Well, that's all I really could think about.
So, Scott, tell us, when it comes to health in the scriptures, not just necessarily diet, all health in the scriptures, is there any scriptures you could think of that address health that have caught your ear and ever?
Oh, yeah. So, certainly 1 Timothy 4. That's a popular one, where we're warned and whatnot to, in the last days, men will be forbidding eating of certain food or broma, and it's actually a reference to food approved by the Torah, or the commandments, the commandments found written in the first 5 books of the Scriptures. And it's actually food approved by Yahweh. Not everything that's edible we find out is food. And so certainly, yeah, there's a lot of allusions to health and things that we're told are an abomination to us, things that are unclean, if you will, for us to eat. And I'm sure, Paul, you probably know a great deal more about that than even I do.
Sure. Now, when you talk about end times and you teach about end times, what do you think during end times when it comes to the food situation? Do you believe people should be planting their food now, or what's your opinion about what people are going to do for survival food-wise?
I'll tell you what, yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, for survival purposes in the last days, it is very, very important to have an idea of seed time and harvest. And I'm not talking about financial sowing and reaping more money, because there's going to be a day very, very soon when money's dried up. And so what will be valuable is food, a day's worth of wages even for a loaf of bread, the Scripture says. So, yeah, absolutely, being able to plant and harvest your own foods, something I wasn't trained to do in my life, and wasn't raised on a farm or anything. We are actually learning how to do that, and learning to become a people connected with the earth, and even with our hands in the dirt and planting and growing our own vegetables and things of that nature. And it has been honestly liberating for our family to see Abba's hand at work in something as simple, or God's hand at work in something as simple as a seed.
And do you think during the end times, if the only food available to somebody is not necessarily approved food according to Scripture, and somebody has that choice, what would you say to a person in that situation?
Regarding people in the last days eating food or eating something that is not food, history dictates that people have always done that. Doesn't mean it's healthy, doesn't mean it's right, but our history is a testimony to the fact that when it comes to us causing our stomachs to stop growling, we'll pretty much do anything we can.
Well, people even do it today. Forget about during times.
Sure, yeah, you're right. You're right, we do. Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll pretty much eat anything.
Now, tell us from a diet standpoint, have you met a lot of people, well, just a health standpoint, in your teachings in churches over the years, have you met a lot of people that have been sick with disease?
Oh, boy. Yeah, everybody. Most of the people we run into have some form of health management problem directly related to bad diet, including ourselves. This is
Even at your conferences and your lectures?
Oh, sure, absolutely. It's it's a point of ignorance for most people. What's okay? What's food? What's healthy? When to eat, stuff like that. And most people don't follow the diet recommended in scriptures because they have either inherited deception from their forefathers, or traditions, even in church tradition. In fact, churchmen and people in Christendom are some of the most unhealthy people in the West, is particularly. Our dietary habits here are terrible. Something I'm just learning about even recently. I think it's largely due to ignorance, and that's not a condescending thing. It's just simply not knowing what's good for us and what's not.
When it comes to diet here, can you give us a scripture that you know related to food that you would warn people about or tell people to pay more attention to?
You bet. Eating things that crawl on the bottom of the seafloor is a good one. They're eating things that have been strangled and have the blood left in them. The life's in the blood. We're not supposed to do that. Any pork, that's the vacuum cleaner of the earth. Not supposed to eat that either. I know I'm probably not making a whole lot of friends with some of this, but the fact is it's there, it's written, and we do well to heed that word. Lobster, cockroach of the seafloor. You guys just go on and on and on.
Okay.
Paul's writings are usually totally misunderstood regarding what to eat and what not to eat, so I've spent a good bit of time in the last couple of years studying his writings and have found out he perfectly supports Torah and the clean and unclean.
And for the viewers out there, you're talking about Paul in the Bible, not me.
You're right, Paul
for the
in the
viewers.
Bible.
Okay, now here's a question. I wrote a book called The Daylight Diet. Do you have any feedback about that, or is this the first time you ever hear it?
No, it's not the first time I've heard that. It makes sense. I mean, if Yahweh's cycles in the lunar and solar cycles are tied to our bodies and the way creation works, and we're part of creation, wisdom dictates that probably makes perfect sense. Having not studied a great deal regarding the specifics, I'm simply not sure as to specific references or whatnot, but yeah, that would be something that bears witness with me. Makes sense that during active times and hours and whatnot, it would probably be wise to eat then and not during the times of rest and when we should be calming down.
I want you to address Christians out there who read the Bible, and what would you tell them when it comes to not only the health message, but just the message of the Scriptures?
Sure. I would first pick it up for yourself. Spend time in the Word yourself. Read about these things, dietary prophecy, whatever, for yourself, casting aside, never mind what my pastor says or the church says or what Christian dogma says or even dogma within Judaism. Look at what the book says and study for yourself to show yourself approved, like a workman that's worthy of being hired.
Great. Now, what advice would you have for somebody who has not read the Bible and is not even interested in reading the Bible? What advice would you have for them?
The Bible is a wealth of information. It's changed my life. I went into it with an arrogant attitude, attempting to try and prove some of the precepts in there wrong, and guess what? I lost. It's a wealth of knowledge. You cannot trump the Creator with the wisdom of man. And so, even for dietary or virtuous living, read the book. Read the whole book, not just one part. Don't just spend your time in Paul's writings, or you're going to get a totally perverted view. Don't just spend your time in the first 5 books, or the same thing's going to happen. Yeah, Revelation didn't begin with Paul, and it didn't end with Moses. And so we do well to look at all of it.
Wonderful. If somebody had any questions or wanted to contact you, how can they do so?
They can contact us at profoundprophecy.com or on our phone, which is 386-209-2739. This is Scott Dreyer. Have a great day and a great raw life.
All right, everybody, there it was, Scott Dyer with the long beard. Great information. We'll see you tomorrow on the Raw Life Health Show.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, bright.